the road. Good loving, I got a truckload. And when you get it, you got something. First time, I'll come. I'm a soul man.
Thank you for inviting
I've been
me.
running yet. Wait. I'll get this. Will get you back. Knock, knock.
You son of a gun. You a piece of work.
Listen, man.
What?
The first time I, as a white boy from Jersey, who was born in 1967, heard that song was the Blues Brothers,
Right.
Belushi. Now, did you know Belushi and Aykroyd after they recorded
You look
that?
like John.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
But that introduced that movie too. Introduced that song to a whole new generation.
Well, you know they were doing it on
and your
Saturday
song,
Night Live
right? And your song "Hold On" is in the movie.
Yeah.
which I fell in love
The
with.
first movie, right?
Yeah. So now, what did you know those guys? You get to know
Yeah,
them?
I knew Danny. No, I knew John before I met Danny.
Okay.
You know, and at that time, one time I was going to Hot Tin Roof on the island there in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. And he came by, and this is when they were getting ready to
Vineyard,
do,
Martha's Vineyard. You mean? Yeah.
and Carter Simon's, club.
Right.
And I was getting ready to play her club.
Oh, okay.
Hot Tin Roof. Mm-hmm. And he came by, and I was sitting in the dressing room, nodding. Mm-hmm. Okay?
I hear you.
And when I came up out of my nod, I almost, poo-pooed on myself because he got his eye cut right, and I jumped.
Oh, man, what a crow.
I said, come on in, man. And he said, I'm John, man. And in my mind, I'm going, oh, my God, I got myself a pigeon, Then he introduced himself, as to who he was.
Right.
So we went out, after the thing was over, we went outside and talking. He was telling me about the movie, what they were getting ready to do. It would be like to, promote Soul Man with them, by traveling. Well, I had already said no when they first asked for the Saturday night thing. I said no because they wanted us to come out while they were doing their stick. And I said, no, we're not comedians, and we are singers.
I think that's a good move.
Yeah, so
I agree with that.
I may have paid, I did pay a price for it because I was never, after the one time, I was never, Dave and I both were never invited again.
Lorne Michaels sort of blacklisted you from it. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. You made a classy decision because Joe Cocker said yes to it.
Yeah.
And and Belushi looks like he's making fun of him.
Yeah.
And Cocker really got mad. He didn't like how that came out.
He did.
Because Belushi was kind of goofing on him.
He was. And
Joe
they did it
Cocker's
on James and all that stuff.
So you made the right decision.
So I was in, but it was real ugly there, But I felt at the time that I made the right decision.
I think I absolutely kept your dignity there with
I think I did the right thing.
I heard something that you were saying, talking about Martin Luther King Jr. I think I didn't realize that there were more black people who were up in arms against him than there were black people supporting him.
You're absolutely right.
Well,
I had no idea.
They weren't necessarily. They were more not necessarily for the peaceful way of doing things.
They felt like he
more
was
Malcolm
selling
X,
out.
Right.
Selling out.
Uncle Tom, and they were more into Malcolm X. Let's go beat some heads.
Well,
right?
you see, before I started following, the doctor, I was following Malcolm.
Right.
So when I came on, I had a chip on my shoulder, and I wanted to say, if you hit me, Whitey, I'm gonna knock you out.
Yeah, a lot of anger.
Yeah,
man.
right. And he was so nice to me. I swear, Artie, he was so nice.
Martin or Malcolm you talking about?
No, Artie. I was talking about Malcolm.
Right. Yeah.
I was talking about Malcolm being, him and had him in my head. But when I talked to the doctor and he saw the anger and, he hit me.
Right.
And he said, look, we're in a struggle here. And you got so much anger. Let me say this to you. If coming over here causes you, because they're going to spit on you, they're going to call you,
Right.
they're going to throw at you. But if you retaliate against that, then it's not helping this cause.
Basically, that's the same thing they told Jackie Robinson with baseball.
Yeah.
Like, you got to lay, and that's hard to do, man.
That's hard, man.
Yeah, sure.
And and being impatient, and if you hit me, you got war in your hand, win or lose.
Right.
I hear you. But as I watched and saw what was going down, I learned to be, hey, okay.
You saw Martin Luther King's side of it. Because Malcolm X died a full 3 years before him.
Sure,
There's a lot of time.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And and Malcolm, he didn't like Martin. He called him Uncle Tom.
Yeah. He was brutal in speeches.
That was kind of was the general consensus, right? Like most black people didn't like Martin Luther King.
They didn't like him.
See, but what happened was Malcolm X became a true man of character. And when he found out the Nation of Islam had a lot of corruption, they killed him.
When he went to the Middle East, and he saw and he heard, hey, the white man sits next to me. He embraces me. Right. He talks to me. He came back. Well, then he found out about
Elijah Muhammad and all that.
All that. And that, you know what happened behind that.
Yeah, and they killed him. So, right. So so that's an easy way to go. And Martin Luther King might have it right here. But look, I couldn't. I don't know anybody in my family that could restrain themselves from getting thrown stuff at
I say the same thing out there. I said, I don't know. And I'm out there sometime I see. Well, because one time we played in Philadelphia. And
this was before like a rally that Dr. King was speaking at.
Right. And his people came and said, is it possible that, because it was our show, but he was going to be speaking. He was supposed to be speaking, but he was a little late. So his people asked, would we stretch until he got there? So we stretched the song. I think we stretched Hold On, I'm Coming all the way to the,
It's hard to do.
It's kind of hard. Yeah. So when he did arrive, they did like, he's here, Yeah. And by the time I stepped back and said, thank you, and blah, 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 whatever it was, the song we were singing, here comes a bottle.
Oh, man.
And good thing I looked up, because usually the bass player, as you well know, is standing in the back, you know. But he was standing by me, so when the bottle came, I looked up, and the bass player was standing there, but it hit that bass player in the face, and blood just...
That's brutal.
That's brutal. And I'm looking down, and I'm looking down in the audience like, and this is a black man that does this. He looked, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did it. Up there with that something. And I'm looking like, and I'm hearing, a guy comes to me, and he said, look, Dr. King says, whatever you do, don't start nothing.
That's hard. Now, so you physically see a guy get. We got to take a commercial. We'll be right back. But that when you see it, it's not surprising, because I got to tell you, the closest I've ever been to a Klan meeting is an Eagles game. Back after the. Hey, welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Having so much fun talking with Sam Moore. We got 2 minutes in this segment, then we're going to do another 15 with Sam. We're having a lot of fun. Real quick, if you can, I mean, it's so hard. So Malcolm X gets shot, then Martin Luther King goes. Like, what's your immediate reaction when you hear that? Did you just feel like your world was blowing up, like everybody's getting killed? And
well, I was living here at the time when he got shot. And to tell you the truth, Artie, what I was doing? My girlfriend at the time, we were there on 54th and 8th Avenue.
Okay, so you're in New York, yeah?
Right, I'm in New York. And I sent uptown to cop.
Right, okay, wow.
Okay, so she was going to 110, wherever she was.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know what time, I know I was getting sick, and stuff. And she
withdrawal.
Yeah. And she called, she said, Dickie, she said, can you get up here? She said, because I'm on a phone booth. I said, what are you on the phone? What's up? She said, Malcolm just got shot. And
so you were here, because he got shot. Malcolm or Martin?
No, Malcolm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I went, wow, what?
So you were going through that.
Yeah.
That adds to the hell of look, we got to take another break. I want to talk to you more about that, but that makes everything more brutal, because I've been there, man.
Have you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
I'll talk to you about that. Back after this.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.